One of the bigger stories coming out of baseball is the fact that the LA Dodgers and the San Francisco Giants are now tied atop the NL West at 63 and 53 apiece. San Francisco got walloped last night by the Nationals, who have the best record in baseball. They are the only team with 70 wins, or over 70 wins right now. We're going to touch on the Nationals for a minute when we're done talking about the Dodgers and Giants. Dodgers and Giants now, ladies and gentlemen, are tied atop the NL West. You've got, let's see, they've played 116 games, which means there's a little less than 50 games each. They also have the season ending with a 3-game series against each other. So, AKA, this is going to go down to the wire most likely unless one of the two teams falls apart. Each one of these teams are very close to each other. San Francisco has a plus 22 in run differential. The Dodgers have a plus 18. In their last 10 games, the Dodgers are 7-3. The Giants are 6-4. So both these teams are playing very similar type of baseball. They're not blowing teams out. Look, talent-wise, I got to say I like the Dodgers a little more. They made a lot of different moves before the trade deadline hit to really add to this roster. You got Shane Victorino playing really well for the Dodgers as well. They won a close one last night against Pittsburgh, who is also affected pretty... That's a good comparison, Pixel Junkie. I like that. Pixel Junkie puts in our chat room that the Dodgers and Giants are the new and old Yanks versus Red Sox. That's a pretty fair statement right now. They both play within, an hour drive of each other. I don't even know how far San Francisco and LA are from each other. But interstate rivals, these are two teams that both have playoff potential. The Giants just won the World Series a few years back. The Los Angeles Dodgers haven't won one in a while, but they're the Dodgers. They are looking scary, as Pixel Junkie puts in our chat room. And I really think that it's going to come down to the wire for them. And then the interesting part, more than anything, not more than anything, but what adds to it is the fact that whoever does not win the division trails the Pittsburgh Pirates by 1.5 games. Now, like I said, the Dodgers and Pirates are in the middle of a series right now. So you're going to be looking at this series is huge right now. If you really want to think about it, the Dodgers versus Pirates series is huge. They still have, they play tonight. Then they play tomorrow. Is it two? Oh, wow. They play Thursday. So they're playing a 4-game series against each other right now. And then the Dodgers on Friday actually jump over and play the Atlanta Braves, who are the other wild card team in the National League, while Pittsburgh plays the St. Louis Cardinals, who's another team fighting for the wild card spot. So, AKA, there's a lot of drama going on. As Sarah F. and Levy put it, drama-rama. I like that. I love this, all right? This is what you enjoy about baseball and all other sports, is the concept, the fact, the playoff races, the battles for positioning, the idea that I don't want my season to end after 162 games. As Pixel mentions in the chat room, this next month is crunch time in baseball. This is when you're going to really see the serious competitors truly start to pull away from the teams that are just having a good year. This is a situation where you're going to step up your game or watch your team step down out of the playoffs. It's that simple. No offense, Pixel. I can't say screw Little League Baseball because of my hometown team, Parsippany, New Jersey, representing. They've moved on. First team from Parsippany to ever advance in the Little League World Series. So go my Parsippany team. I shall be watching and rooting for them extremely seriously. And one of the things I'm going to do this weekend is try and get in touch with the people that are, I guess you'd say, managing the Little League team from Parsippany. And I'm going to see if we can get them to call in from the game or from the city and maybe put them on Skype or something like that. I think that'd be pretty cool, and I think the kids would find it really cool as well. I mean, they're between 11 and 13 years old, so that would probably really, really enjoy it. Jeremy, no apologies necessary, Pixel Junkie. No apologies necessary. Jeremy, I feel what you're saying about, this is what makes football so much better because every game feels like a playoff game. And in football, all 16 games affect what happens to you. Believe it or not, ladies and gentlemen, the week 4 loss for the Dallas Cowboys against the Detroit Lions in last year's football season is actually the reason the Dallas Cowboys didn't make the playoffs. If Dallas won that game, they would have had the tiebreaker over Detroit, and they would have taken the other wild card spot in the playoffs. I know it sounds random, and I know it sounds stupid, but it is true. Every game in football does matter. But as I've had people explain to me about baseball, the thing you have to know about baseball is that in some way, somehow, not every game matters, but every series matters. You want to take 2 out of 3. You want to have a leg up in head-to-head matchups against certain teams. But now is the time when the players themselves truly sit there and say every game matters. Now it's not just a hangout like, the pitchers aren't pitching today, so they're just sort of relaxing and, taking it easy. No. Now is when you see the pitchers that aren't pitching today leaning on the wall and rooting and screaming and rooting hard. This is that time of year for baseball to really get serious. So, I got the standings. I had the standings in front of me. I don't know. Okay, that's weird. Anyway, so I have the standings in front of me, and just to give you guys an idea of what we're looking at here, in the wild card races, I think I'm going to do this like once a week with you guys, but in the wild card races, you got Tampa Bay and Baltimore right now. Tampa Bay has a game lead on Baltimore for the number 1 wild card spot. Oakland only trails Baltimore by half a game. Detroit only trails by a game and a half. The Angels by 2.5. The Red Sox by 5.5. Toronto by 7, and Cleveland by 8.5. Then the other 3 teams are 10 games or more. But in baseball, when we're looking at the fact that a lot of teams are running these, 10 games in 10 days, 17 games in 17 days, so on and so forth. By knowing that, you do understand that an 8.5 game lead can disappear in a week. In 1 week, an 8.5 game lead can disappear. In the NL, it's a little more separated. You don't have as many teams involved. My Mets are still only 9 games back, but let's be honest, nobody sits here and thinks they're going to do anything. Arizona's only 6 games back. St. Louis only 2 games back. San Francisco and the Dodgers each only trail by a game and a half, and that's for the wild card. The division races are pretty tight too. The Yankees only lead Tampa Bay by 5, Baltimore by 6. Chicago only leads Detroit by 2 games. Texas only leads Oakland by 6, the Angels by 8 games. Washington only has a 5.5 game lead on the Braves, which is really impressive considering Washington's at 72 wins already. Cincinnati only leads Pittsburgh by 5 games, St. Louis by 7 games. And then we know the Dodgers and Giants are tied at the top of the NL West, with Arizona only trailing by 4.5 games. So, AKA, anything can happen over the next couple weeks. And it's awesome. If you want my honest opinion, it's awesome. There you go. It's the real money ball. I like that. Now, Chris, I do agree with you. I don't think that the MLB season needs to be 162 games. 81 would be pretty straight. You can also extend the playoffs, make that a little bigger. Pittsburgh has a better record than the Dodgers. Yes, I will double check to make sure I read that correctly. The Pittsburgh Pirates are 64-51. No, the Pittsburgh Pirates don't have a better record than the Dodgers. The Pittsburgh Pirates trail the Dodgers. Well, that's weird. I'm really confused on that one. You look at one standings, and it has the Pittsburgh Pirates at 64-51, Dodgers 63-50. Yeah, so they have like a game and a half on the Dodgers. Yeah, that's what I read. All right, I had that written down already. I'm getting all confused here. Sorry. But yes, they have a game and a half on the LA Dodgers right now. So it's going to be a lot of fun to watch. Honestly, ladies and gentlemen, they are almost setting themselves up to have a very similar end of the season that they had last year. And if that takes place, for anybody that got to enjoy what happened at the end of last year, that should make you a very excited fan of baseball. Because, how do I say this? Last year was nuts. I mean, insane. The way that everything came down to the final hours, literally, the final hours of the MLB season. I mean, that's just awesome. So, I don't know about you guys, but I hope things stay like this. Because if it stays like this, then we're all going to be very excited to enjoy the final days, weeks of the MLB regular season before they end up going to the playoffs. And the wild card matchup is going to be pretty fun to watch too. So, I can't sit here and say that I love baseball, but man, I'm having a lot of fun looking at all these stats and realizing how intense the playoff race is going to become.